are the most important cities in Spain. And that's it.
That was impressive. Who's next? Okay, Adriana, you're next.
Hi everybody. Today I'm gonna talk about my own experience learning English. Where my class?
Can I see? Okay, let me see. I think if you go straight down the stairs to the right, you're gonna go to this room, and then you're just gonna keep walking straight to the right. It should be right there. Was that clear?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
No he entendido nada.
One of the biggest problem I had was with listening. But with listening, that was I struggled a lot with listening because you are hardwired in a specific language. You were thinking in a specific language. When you switch to a different language, it was hard for me.
Many accents and dialects, and they're so different from this standard English, and it frustrates me because I understand just 30% of that, I would say. Yes.
I think one of the problems is like you pretend to learn the language in a country that doesn't speak the language. That makes it even harder, because you don't have really the opportunity to speak the language or practice.
In France, we learn how to write English, but we don't learn how to speak English. So sometimes it's very frustrating because I say something and then I realize that I made a mistake. I'm like, oh no, it's this way. Oh, I have to think about it twice before saying something.
Listening and speaking was the biggest challenge for me, I guess, growing up, because writing and reading was pretty much not easy, but it was easier because that's something that you can do on your own. You can pick a book that you like, open it, ripping the page, and keep doing that.
The normal reaction is to ask questions, what do you mean here? What do you mean?
It's one of the things that was more useful for me to improve in the language was like asking everyone.
Even with my professors in general, I ask them for the definition of the word. And when I learn a new expression, I try to reuse it, like with other people.
I try to get the message. I try to eliminate the words I don't understand and to get the message. Maybe afterwards I'm upset because of I don't know every single word, but in the moment I'm focused on the message.
My motivation started back in my country. I wanted to speak English because it's a beautiful language. English is actually a beautiful language.
I was forced by my school. I'm very passionate about German, speaking German, learning German. I love this language, and to be honest, I didn't want to learn English. I know it's very useful and it's great to speak to be able to speak English, as I said, to communicate with the entire world. But everybody learns English. It's a little bit boring. What languages do you speak? English. Okay, and what else? And I wanted to answer what else, and that's why I started to learn German. It was a little bit exotic even, so but I was forced. but now I'm enjoying it.
You know, since I was a kid, I was a big fan of NBA. So every time I was, you know, turning on TV or internet and watching NBA, everybody was speaking English. I was like, oh my God, this is something that I want to also join. I want to speak English. I want to communicate with them. So NBA was a big factor. You know, I wanted to understand the NBA game, what people saying, what's going on in English. I want to get it. And also I wanted to get what the musicians saying in their songs.
There is one actually about the pronunciation. I taught French in England, in London, at Damali's Owen School, and I had troubles pronouncing some words. Like, for example, for paper, I used to say piece of sheet, and one time I said piece of shit instead of piece of sheet. So I was so embarrassed because everyone was laughing, and so I changed it for paper. So now I use like paper all the time.
Every time, now I'm living in America. It's my first time in this country, and every time when I'm being asked, "How are you?" I don't know how to react, and it takes me a couple of seconds to understand. Okay, should I answer how I'm really doing now, or just say I'm fine, and then the person is passing by, and then I'm shouting to him, I'm fine, and it's every time it's so embarrassing. So I don't know how to deal with this question.
My English wasn't that good, you know. My accent was like as thick as it's right now. So when you move there, you think that you speak the best English ever, right? So. But you face the reality after a few days over there. So I was in the supermarket, I guess, I don't know, Target, Walgreens, one of those. And I was, looking around. I was like trying to find, maybe cereals, stuff like that. So I asked for it, and the person was looking at me strange. And even, she asked me, it's like, I'm sorry, I don't speak that language. It's like, well, I try to speak English. Now it's funny. In that moment, I felt really, really bad. But yeah, I guess, what's that we used to say before, it's part of the learning process.